I love watching comic auctions close. It's a strange little backwater of the internet where millions of dollars worth of high-end vintage comics changes hands. The most exciting auction house to watch is ComicLink because they don't reset the clock on new bids, which means everyone waits until closing to put their highest bid in and no one has any idea where the final price will land. Sometimes nothing changes and the auction closes on a bid from days earlier, and sometimes the price goes through the roof at literally the last second. I just finished posting over 4 hours of auction closings. I'm grateful to everyone who stuck with me through that whole series, but for anyone who doesn't want to make that time commitment, I've whittled it down to just the best of the best. These are the highest sales, the biggest disappointments, all the craziest closings from ComicLink's last big featured auction.
All right. Amazing Spider-Man 28. First appearance of the Molten Man. That's not why it's interesting. The reason it's interesting is because it has this great experimental, almost entirely black cover. Not only does it look cool, but it's very hard to find in high grade because when you have a black cover, any imperfections in the paper are going to be really easy to spot. In this particular copy, for example, I can see, looking close up, the upper left corner, which is one part of the book that's not all black, has some, what do we call this? Some fraying on it. If I looked with a magnifying glass, I might see some spine splits. They're really hard to avoid with black cover, but all I can see at a glance is a little bit in this bottom left corner, a little bit in this top left corner. Bidding's at $17,889 with a fair market of $16,000. Interesting thing about this book, most of the early ASMs do have a 9.8. This one does not because it's so hard to get in high grade. Look at this chart right here. You got a decent amount up to 7.0. If you have a 7.0 copy, you are in the top 30%. But then if you have a 9.0, you're in the top 4%. Very hard to find. And this is a 9.4, top 0.8% of the 3,371 graded copies. So this is a sought after book. And a very, very high grade. One of the best copies in existence of it. 16 seconds left to go. Bidding's at $17,889. Fair market is $16,000. It's already well above book. And it's even higher at $18,389. This one's going for, whoa, holy crap. Holy crap. Did you see that? Wow, I had it at 18,000 and it shot up in the last 5 seconds to 26,135. 5 or 6 more Avengers books, none particularly interesting, although this one's going for a lot. Issue 93, Avengers vs. Fantastic Four, cover by Neil Adams. Kree-Skrull War begins. That's going for $5,555. Why? Last sold in 2012. There has not been a recorded sale of this book in 13 years. There are only 4 copies, so this sold for $7,170 in 2012. And this one is now going for $5,555 with less than a minute to go. This seems to have once been considered a key, but I don't think this deserves to even be called a key. Nevertheless, the fair market value on it is very high, probably because there just haven't been a lot of sales on it. This one's a bit of a spike, unusually high, selling in 3 seconds. What the hell? What is going on? $27,666. That just jumped by 5 times the price. The last sale of this book, the only sale of this book, recorded by Go Collect, was 13 years ago for $7,170. This was sitting at $5,500 and it just jumped to $27,666. Who did that? What just happened? Unbelievable. Then we've got 227, which I'm going to scramble on because I love this book and I really want it, but I am not going to bid on a 9.4 copy of it. I don't want it that bad. 4,100 is what the bidding is at. I bet this one's going to go up because it always does. This is a 9.4. Fair market is $3,700. It's already above fair market. People love this cover. It's an homage to Detective 31, but I think that Neil Adams actually did it better. 6,250. Wow. Huge jump at the last second. 3,700 is the fair market value. This one went for almost twice that. I would say 60% roughly above fair market. The fair markets on this book, I don't know why they don't change them. I always see this sell for above fair market, and this is way above. Now, we get to the big auction, the single biggest sale price of this entire auction, this entire 3-day auction, over 1,000 books. Nothing else is going to come anywhere close to the sale price of this book coming up right now in 2 minutes. Captain America Comics #1. First appearance of Captain America, Jack Kirby cover, punching Hitler in the face. This is more than a comic book key. This is a huge piece of American history. I would say the third most prized, most valued comic book in existence after Action Comics #1 and Detective Comics 27. Arguably Amazing Fantasy 15 higher, but that's a different sort of thing because that's Silver Age. And this is a 7.0 sales. Someday soon, this will be selling in the millions, I would imagine. Right now, the fair market value is $300,000. There's 13 copies of this book. There are only 17 copies in better condition, 202 overall. It is now at $230,069 to be exact. Someone's being cute there. With a minute and a half left to go, it has not moved. It's still way below fair market, $300,000. So the last sale on this was for $300,150 on Comic Connect 2 years ago. And there was a heritage sale 3 years ago for $312,000. So these prices are pandemic bubble prices, and we're not in the bubble anymore. This needed to go down. And I would say if the peak of the bubble price was $312,000, then what it's at right now, $230,000, is about what it should sell for. 18 seconds left to go. Let's see if someone's going to show me that I'm wrong by bidding it up to $240,000. Nope. 8 seconds left to go. I don't think there's going to be a fight over this book. I think somebody is going to take it away for $230,000. $250,000. It was $230,069, and it just sold for $420. I think Elon Musk bid on this book. I think Elon Musk bid $230,069. Somebody else bid $240,000, and then he came in with $420,000 because no one else is that lame. So we had some other books close. We had 57 close, which is another Dr. Doom cover, a particularly good one that people like a lot, and they got a 9.6 white pages copy. There aren't too many sales with a 9.6. The last sale was 5 years ago at $2,400. This one was at $3,200, so already well above. It's not really a fair market because it's just a last sale listed, but already well above. The 9.8 sold 10 years ago for $6,500, but this is a 9.6. Let's see what it closed at. $7,927. Ooh, that's amazing when you see a book more than double. Wow, $7,900. Okay. So this 9.6 sold for above the 9.8 sale of $6,500, way above any prior sale of a 9.6 copy. So the Dr. Doom interest is high. People are just not interested in issue 5. They're interested in issue 39. They're interested in issue 16. They're interested in issue 57. They're probably, in an hour or so, when Marvel Superheroes 20 closes, they're going to pay a ridiculous amount for the 9.8 of Marvel Superheroes 20 that has the big Dr. Doom cover. They're just not putting that money into Fantastic Four #5, which is because other people are dumb. They're crazy. Issue 5 is the Dr. Doom key. That's the one you should be bidding on. This is more than FF5 went for. You just bought FF57, the 78th appearance of Dr. Doom, for $7,900 when you could have bought his first appearance, Fantastic Four #5, a truly classic, legendary comic that is very, very scarce. You could have bought it in 5.0 for less than you paid for issue 57. People are so obsessed with high grade that they will pay ridiculous amounts for not very important books and then leave the mid-grade copies of the really great books to somebody else. I'm, I guess, a different breed of collector than most of the collectors in this auction, obviously, because this is all high-grade copies. I would put my money into a lower-grade copy of a better book. That makes sense to me. I mean, look at this. This is a 5.0. It's got a few scratches and tears, as do we all. This book is from 1962. It's 63 years old. It's showing its age. It's like everybody needs their books Botoxed. They need them perfect. These books are old. Let them look old. They're still cool. So we got Journey into Mystery 83 closing in 20 seconds. Once again, there's 4 Marvel keys in this auction, have a 7.0 and a 5.0. Amazing Fantasy 15, Amazing Spider-Man 1, Journey into Mystery 83, and Tales to Astonish 27, all split bidding in this auction with a 7.0 and a 5.0 copy. I find that very strange. Not saying there's anything fishy about it. It's just a weird coincidence. This 7.0 just closed. Not expecting big things from Thor keys. We've had 4 Thor movies. We're not getting any more. You got your Gore, the God Butcher, and Thor 4. You're not getting any more. 7.0 fair market value $22,000 off white to white. 15,510 is the bidding, and it closes at 16,010. Almost 30% below fair market, which makes sense. And then the 5.0 copy fair market is 9,000. This is already above fair market, and it closed for 10,901. That's odd. Well, there you go. White Pages. White Pages 5.0 went for 20% above fair market value. This really seems to be about page quality and nothing else. I find that to be pretty silly. There's a lot of silly things in this hobby. Other people are welcome to be silly. I live in a glass house. I shouldn't be throwing stones. I do silly things with my money. These are comic books. They have a cover price of 12 cents and I'm paying thousands of dollars for them. Still, the 20% premium that people are paying above fair market value to get a white page copy at 5.0, I just should get used to it. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, looking at this 7.0 is clearly got some tanning on it. It's a little yellowed when you compare it to this 5.0. Tiny little bit of chipping on the side of this 5.0, but it presents better than the 7.0 in my opinion. Drilling down into it a little bit, looking closely at the pictures, it makes sense that this 5.0 went for a good price and this 7.0 went for a bad price, which goes to show you that it's not just about the grade. Collectors are looking at the books and they will pay more for a low grade book that looks good. They will pay less for a high grade book that doesn't look good. What we don't want is algorithms scanning these auction sites and placing bids based on the numbers and the fair market values, which is sort of what I'm doing, but I'm trying to be a human about it. I'm trying to look at the actual books as much as I can. There's a lot that I'm going through. Not that a lot that I'm going through. I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. There's a lot of comics that I'm going through, and it's easy to just look at the numbers and make judgments based on the numbers. I'm glad that the bidders are looking at the actual books. It tells me that there are humans bidding on these auctions and not a bunch of bots, which is kind of my worry these days with the internet being dead at all. With these ComicLink auctions, I can tell from the way these bids are done, there are a bunch of people like me sitting at their computers bidding on these books, and I'm glad. Hi guys. We got the Jumbo comics. I don't understand or know much about Jumbo. I guess that's Sheena. That is a really impractical outfit for her. I don't know how she or whoever took that leopard skin and tailored it into a one piece. That is phenomenal work that she did, making herself a cheetah or leopard skin bikini. Probably a difficult costume to fight with an eagle in. Ladies, if there's any ladies watching this video, I highly doubt it. Please correct me. What do we call this outfit? It's not a bikini. It's not really a one piece. It is made out of a dead leopard's hide. These two cheetahs in the background, probably wondering the same thing I am. Is that a cheetah skin or is it a leopard skin? I hope it's a leopard skin. Marvel Mystery Comics number 4. This is one of the books that they put on the front page of the ComicLink auction site. This is one of the top books in the auction. It's the 4th issue of Marvel Comics. They started out calling it Marvel Comics, then they changed it to Marvel Mystery Comics. So this is not Marvel Comics number 1. This is Marvel Comics, effectively, number 4, February of 1940. Now, what's special about this book is it is the first comic book ever to show a swastika on the cover. Apparently. First Nazi flag on a comic book cover. So it may not be the first swastika. It's the first Nazi flag. That is not a thing that would excite me. Very hard to guess at what this would be worth. But my guess, based on this $48,000, was actually $50,000 because I thought there was not going to be a lot of interest in this book. It's a Submariner cover. Submariner's already had his moment in the MCU, and I don't know that we'll see more of it. I don't think we're going to be getting a Namor movie. So there's just not a lot of activity with the character, and there already has been activity that just didn't amount to much. For that reason, I wouldn't think this book would go for much. All it's got going on is this Nazi U-boat on the cover. Just before closing, we had the bidding at $128,000. I'm guessing this asterisk means there's a reserve on it, and I don't know if it's met the reserve or not. They're not going to say what the reserve is. They'll just say once it's met it. The final sale closed at $133,000. No more asterisk. As far as I can tell, far and away the most this book has ever sold for. I hope that the high sale price for this book has nothing to do with the renewed enthusiasm for Nazis happening in our culture right now, with the sudden okayness of talking about subjects that were, for my entire life, I thought agreed on, which is that slavery was bad, Nazis were bad, Hitler is bad. Suddenly, there's some ambivalence on the subject. Submariner seems to agree with me. He thinks Nazis are bad. He's strangling and punching them. If you're excited about Nazis, I don't know why you'd be bidding on this book. $133,000. That is, I believe, the second highest sale price we've seen for any book. Off the top of my head, we saw Captain America Comics #1 go for $230,420. Amazing Fantasy 15 at 7.0, I believe, went for less than this one. So I think this is the second highest sale price in the auction. Both have gone to Golden Age books. Neither went to Incredible Hulk 181, so that's good news. All right. We are at Superman. They've got in this auction a copy of Superman #1, unrestored, blue label, 1.5, light tan to off-white pages. This is from summer of 1939. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe this is just reprints of the early Action Comics stories. I don't think there's anything new until issue 4. This is a very beat-up cover. There are only 12 copies in 1.5. There are only 173 copies known to exist. Looking very quickly, this is a very distinct cover. I don't see it in the sales history on Go Collect, so we don't have any record of what this particular copy is sold for, but we do know the fair market number of sales, pretty well established that it is $120,000, despite the last sale on Heritage only a year ago going for $180,000, then $137,000, $174,000, $132,000. All of these, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sales are all well above the listed fair market in this grade. So I'm guessing the higher sales have gone for about the same. This just closed. $120,000 is the fair market. If there's any further bids, it will have gone for above fair market, but it did not. It went for exactly fair market, which is a great price for this book. I don't think this cover, this 1.5, it looks bad for a 1.5. I'd say all of these 1.5s, largely because of the spine roll, look better than this one that just sold. This one looks like it went through a garbage disposal. All right, we're done with Superman and we're on to Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 70. This is the first Silver Age Catwoman. I can't see that much of a difference, to be honest, between the Golden Age Catwoman and the Silver Age Catwoman, other than in the Golden Age, she had to wear a dress, and by the Silver Age, she got to wear pants. It's easier to steal rare diamonds when you're wearing pants. I don't know, I've never done it wearing either. I would not do it in a cape, I'll tell you that much. I see Super Pussycat. We got Super Pussycat. I've never heard of Super Pussycat. That's a new one for me. Closes in 52 seconds for a lot of money. Wow. But it's a 9.8. It's a 9.8 white pages, so it's going to be a lot. Silver Age Catwoman appeared just a few months after her debut in the Batman TV show, which was enormously popular. This version is clearly influenced by the Julie Newmar costume and look on the Batman TV show. Fair market value at 9.8. Only one sale from 2014 on eBay. Sold for $4,899. It's selling for $14,250. Wow, that is a shockingly high price. It hasn't even closed yet. Let's click update. $15,501. That is an extraordinarily high, record-breaking sale for Lois Lane number 70, first Silver Age Catwoman. Let's be clear here. This is not the first Catwoman. Catwoman had been around for 26 years at this point. This is just the first, they call it the first Silver Age Catwoman, but as far as I can tell, she just got pants. $15,501. Am I missing something? Is it Super Pussycat? And that's it for this whole auction. We're done. We made it. We're done with the ComicLink Summer Featured Auction. Holy crap. I think I got about 4 hours of video just previewing these, and then another 12 hours I've spent watching these auctions close over the last 3 nights. If you stuck with me through it, thank you. My voice is gone. I've been sitting here for a long time. I'm going to go play some Breath of the Wild, eat some dinner. Thank you very much. Girls to Astonish signing out. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.